Every year we have hundreds and thousands of conversations with business leaders all over the country and all over the world. But once a year, we produce the KPMG CEO Outlook that takes that point in time view from business leaders as to what they're thinking and what are the issues on their minds. If you summarize what we think is on business leaders' minds, it probably comes back to three core issues. Leaders are concerned about tech, leaders are concerned about innovation, and leaders are concerned about energy and energy security. From an Irish point of view, if you think about how business leaders will always be more positive about their own business, but maybe slightly more negative about the broader economy, I think some of those themes have come through very strongly. So I think people are positive around tech and AI. I think people are concerned about energy security, but again, I think people are becoming increasingly positive in that regard. It's interesting that the downside risk really always does seem to come back to infrastructure and our ability in this country in particular to deliver infrastructure quick enough to sustain this economy. Certainly it's true to say there's never been more commentary about the range of risks facing Irish business, not just in terms of the volume of that commentary, but also in terms of the wide variety of things that business leaders are concerned about. Unsurprisingly, one of the things that we see in this survey again is that business leaders are confident in their own ability to manage through the risks of their own organisations, but equally they're becoming more concerned about the wider universe of risks that this country and this economy is facing. So for example, we see things like geopolitics and the tariff threat as something that CEOs are increasingly concerned about, but it's also interesting that we're also seeing leaders become increasingly concerned about infrastructure, the ability of the country to deliver infrastructure quick enough, and for the ability of the state to keep up with the growing economy. One of the areas that we were firmly expecting to see poll really highly in our current KPMG CEO Outlook were the views around tech and AI investment in particular and what companies were looking to do in that regard. Unsurprisingly, the findings of the survey are showing that CEOs are going to invest heavily in those areas. I think the difference between now and 6 or 12 months ago is that leaders are now starting to see how pervasive technology and AI is becoming across their organisations, and they're starting to think really deeply about the impact in terms of their delivery models, their workforce planning, skills, capabilities, and other parts of their businesses. A number of the themes that would have come through really strongly on previous KPMG CEO Outlooks were around issues like decarbonisation and sustainability in particular. We're starting to see a little bit of a shift now in terms of the focus of business leaders around energy security and energy supply. However, interestingly, if we can deal with those two issues around security and supply, the way you'll deal with them will be in a decarbonised way, so actually you might get to the same answer but in a slightly different way.